G'day everyone, Tempo here, and welcome to the TD Project. In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing one of my opinions with regards to discrimination. I don't like discrimination, to be honest. I think it's highly unnecessary, it's a waste of everyone's time, it just should not be a thing, but it is, so I'm making this video and here we are. In a previous video, I briefly touched on how I don't like when people play the discrimination card or the race card unnecessarily. Like something bad is happening to them and it's not actually discrimination, but they play a discrimination card anyway because they're of a particular race, and I really dislike it when people do that because it undermines everyone else fighting for true equality. And that may or may not become a video in its own, so if you're interested in me expanding on that tangent, making it into a whole video, then please let me know in the comments below. But in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about when people fall victim to discrimination and then they retaliate with discrimination, and that's not how it works, guys. That's not fixing the problem. And specifically, I'm going to be talking about discrimination against the police force, because there are some bad eggs in the police force that needs to be acknowledged, and that is an issue that needs to be addressed in itself. And this, what I hope, is the minority of police officers are out there doing awful, stupid, often racist things, and it's oftentimes caught on video and for the world to see. And then people are all like, screw the police, F the police, stuff the system, all police are pigs, all police are dogs. And it's like, no, like, just some of them are. You've only seen the acts of a couple of police officers on video, and by extension you're then claiming all police officers suck, F the police. Like, that's discrimination, buddy. Like, I just don't get how people don't see it. Like, yeah, the police force aren't exactly a race of people, but they are a group of people, and by witnessing the actions of one or more police officers, and then instead of calling those specific police officers out on it, you're just gonna call out the whole police force. That's discrimination. That is not helping the issue, that is not fixing anything, okay? Because there are lots of good police officers out there, both here in Australia and over in America, and also want to acknowledge police officers all around the world. But it's just, you can't claim all police officers are awful, that the whole police force is racist and discriminatory based on the actions of a few police officers, because by extension, that is discrimination. And I just don't, it's a double standard, guys. Like, it's a double standard. Like, I just don't see how you people just can't see it. Like, if, yeah, you're the victim of discrimination and then you're gonna address that by discriminating against another group, that's not how this works. So I just want to stress, not all police officers out there are bad. And I'm gonna share a few experiences that I've had with the police force, with police officers, and to me, just based on my personal experiences, definitely not all police officers are bad. So I've encountered the police quite a number of times over the course of my life, and I will not say, I'm not going to go into the details about why I've been encountering or interacting with the police, but I would like to say, well, while most of these encounters went positive, at no point did I feel like I was being discriminated against, or I felt any racism or just any sort of discrimination. And a lot of the cops that I encountered were white. They weren't all white, but a lot of them were white. But at no point did I feel discriminated against, because don't know if you've realized this, but I'm not exactly a white person. And based on my personal experiences with the police, I want to say that I would like to say that the police force is good as a whole, but I can't say that because I know for a fact that there are bad police officers in and amongst the good. But at the same time, you can't say that all police officers are bad because there's a couple of bad ones in the mix. Like, just gonna throw some examples out there. Like, I don't think Aboriginal people would like it when, I'm not gonna say these claims are true, but during the course of my life, I've heard these racist claims against Aboriginal people, like Aboriginal people like to smell petrol, or they're dull bludgers, or they're thieves, and they do no good for the community. Those aren't my opinions, those are just racial comments that I've heard throughout the course of my life against Aboriginal people, and I don't believe them at all. There are heaps of good Aboriginal people out there. But if you're an Aboriginal person, I'm sure that stings when you hear comments like that, because it's not necessarily true for you. Like, there's a couple of people out there that happen to be Aboriginal and happen to be doing these things, and these traits are true for them, but you can't say those traits are true for all Aboriginal people. That stings. In the same way, you can't say all Asians are bad drivers. Like, I saw Tokyo Drift, there were Asians in that movie and they were pretty good drivers, but like, you can't throw that stereotype out there because not all Asians are bad drivers. There are a lot of bad drivers out there, and it just happens that a lot of bad drivers are Asians, but you can't say all Asians are bad drivers. To bring back to the point I was making with this video, there's a couple of bad cops out there, or probably more than a couple. Like, there's a significant number of bad cops out there, but then you can't go around saying all cops are bad, F the police, because that is discrimination in and amongst itself. And you are not fixing the discrimination problem by further contributing to the discrimination problem. That's like trying to put out a fire by adding more fire to the fire. Like, come on guys, really, just please think about it. Just think about this for a moment. I don't think it's too grand or abstract of a concept. And while I'm talking about police and interactions with the police, I just want to throw out there that with my personal interactions with the police, I find that if your initial encounter is not aggressive, and you don't get aggressive while you're interacting with the police, then the police don't tend to get aggressive with you. Most police officers only get aggressive when you're aggressive. Most police officers stop respecting you when you show no respect for the police. Many police officers tend to match your level of interaction with the way you're interacting with them. Not all of them. A few police officers, well, more than a few, some police officers tend to take it one or two steps too far, try to one-up you when you're being an asshole, but at the same time, if you're not being a muppet or an asshole, the police officers won't. And that's not just true for police officers, that should be a rule of thumb for interacting with everyone. If you're not an asshole, it is highly unlikely the person you're interacting with is gonna be an asshole for no reason. Highly unlikely. Like, not ruling it out altogether, just saying it's highly unlikely. So generally, if you treat cops all right, with a bit of respect, you don't threaten to bash them or shank them or just be an overall muppet about it, like they're gonna be all right too, generally. And that rule of thumb applies to everyone. So to wrap things up, we need to stop discriminating against the police force. Also, no, side note, every time something happens in the news directly with regards to the American police force, can Australians stop going on about how the Australian police force sucks? The Australian police force and the American police force are two completely different police forces. You can't have something bad happen in America and then have an Australian go, F the police, F the Australian police. No. Two completely different police forces, alright? In the same way, an Australian news article about the Australian police might be aired in America, and you can't have Americans going, yeah, F the police, all police suck. That's like the next level of what I was just talking about with regards to police discrimination, okay? Two completely separate police forces. I would argue that the Australian police force is of a higher standard than the American police force. Sorry, America, but I'm pretty sure we have stricter protocols and processes with regards to recruiting police officers. So I would like all the Australians that are like F the police every time they see an American police story, just take a step back, buddy. Calm down, alright? If something happens in Australia, yeah, have a go at that particular police officer, but not the whole police force, and definitely not if it's something that's not even happening in this country, alright? So, wrap it up. Discrimination against a whole group based on the actions of one or more people is discrimination, and that goes for the police force too. But I guess that's just my opinion, hey? But be sure to let me know what you think, guys. Get all that discussion going down below, do all those YouTube things, you know. Like, comment, share, subscribe, get notified. Be kind, rewind, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one.